Alrighty, so I got the hood cracked on this. You can see that. Everybody's like, what's wrong? Something looks odd with the hood. So this is a 1987 GMC Jimmy, or what a lot of people know as a K5 Blazer. So the truck over there is a GMC, and I was kind of looking for a GMC in one of these. The GMCs are a little bit harder to find than the Chevys, and they also, unfortunately, tend to bring a little bit more money if they're done good. This Jimmy was already restored per se, although I've had to do a lot to it already, but it was painted, the interior was done, and it's actually pretty nice shape. I've got it locked again, but I do have a key on me though for this. It has the manual crank rear window. It does not have the power rear window, which are notorious for issues. It doesn't have the sliding windows on the side, on the top, which that's fine. I kind of like the look of those, but I don't know how well they hold up as far as wind noise and stuff. So like I said, this one's fairly nicely done. This is a dash cover. It's not a new dash, unfortunately. The original dash is still under here, but it is what it is. They've put a new cluster in, or bezel, over the cluster in here. This should be silver, like this trim is and the door trim is, and it was. I actually found a picture of this. I actually bought this from a vintage car dealer, and it was at another vintage car dealer before that one, and it had the silver. So between them two dealers, they put this new instrument bezel in here. But I mean, it's new carpet and it's pretty clean. I did break the back interior light. I've got to buy a new one of those. It disintegrated. It was dry rotten. This upholstery, I'm going to say, is custom. There's a bit of a stain right there. I hadn't, like somebody got some oily on it. It's kind of like, what do they put in the trucks a lot? Those horse blankets, I call them. Shoot, I forget the exact term for them, but it's kind of like that material. They've been wrapped in that, and they're not covers. It's upholstery, but I've never seen another one with this in there, so this is some kind of custom job, I think. But it's nice. I did put some floor mats in it because it didn't have any. Power windows and door locks. So this one's a bit of an upgrade, except, as far as options in the truck. But this is it being an 87. It is first year fuel injection, which I kind of wanted. I don't know that I want it anymore, but I've got it now. So 350 TB throttle body fuel injection. Air cleaner's been painted and it's all nice and shiny, but it's fairly original. I've removed some smog equipment, which is laying over here in the floor somewhere, and also that's the exhaust that was on it. Had a Flowmaster, I don't know what series it is, had dual exhaust. That had to go. It was extremely too loud for me. So I went back to, for reasons I'll explain here in a minute, to a single outlet exhaust on one side with a muffler in there. Is slightly louder than stock, but not overpowering. So far so good. It's actually a little quieter than the truck with the hush thrush. I wanted to do thrush hush, or hush thrush, whatever you want to call it, on this. The problem was I wanted to do this exhaust myself. I did put this exhaust in myself, And I couldn't get that muffler's really long. It's longer than normal in the thrush hushes are, and I couldn't get the size I needed just right in the offsets and whatnot. So I wound up going with that, which was kind of a kit of stock replacement parts. These should have a deal exhaust coming out here from the factory, 2 smaller pipes. I don't think anybody makes that tailpipe anymore. So this is the stock replacement tailpipe. And I got, a stock hanger in there for the original hanger location and everything. So that should be pretty close to where it should be for now. But the reason I also went with this was these things are notorious for exhaust fumes getting sucked up back here and back into the window. And I've put a new seal in this, and that didn't help. And it's got a new seal around the gate, which is making good contact, is sealing. But we were having a problem with, when you roll the windows down, it creates a vacuum and it would suck the exhaust into the back. And the exhaust that was on there, they had tucked up real high here, and it only came out about halfway distance of the tire. There were, I don't know if you can see, there's mud flaps on the front. There was some back here as well. I took them off because I thought that was making some turbulence as well in the wind and getting the exhaust mixed up or churned up and to the back. So this pipe comes out further. It's also lowered down, so I don't think it can get caught up in the bumper and come up. And so far, this has helped. What I've run around with it with the windows down, I hadn't got any exhaust hardly in at all through the back. So also, hopefully, it being the single pipe, it's pushing, instead of having deals, which lowers the pressure, this single is pushing the exhaust further away from the vehicle to some degree before it gets caught up into the back turbulence. So long explanation on that, but that was multiple problems I was trying to resolve there. Other work I've had to do to it, there's been a lot of little things. I've still got a box of Rock Auto stuff there. I've replaced several sensors on the motor involving the fuel injection system, O2 sensor, did that, there's a temperature sensor. This thing has 2 temperature sensors. There's one in the head, you're probably not gonna be able to see this. There's one in the head down here near the exhaust manifolds. That goes to the temperature gauge in the dash. This one goes to the computer, and this is kind of what tells the computer, what temperature the engine's running at, so it knows how to adjust other things. There's an idle air control valve. I replaced that. I replaced the map sensor. I've also replaced the EGR valve. I fixed some vacuum leaks that I have found. I removed the smog air pump and the associated lines on this side of the motor. PCV valve thing was smoking when I got it. Scared me to death. Thought I was going to be doing another engine rebuild. Turned out to be the $2 PCV valve. So it does burn a little oil. It has 150,000. It's got like 148, 149 is what it has rolled once that I'm aware of. It is burning a little bit of oil. I'd say about a half a quart in 1,000 miles is where we're at. I think the spec is about a quart in 1,000 miles. Anything more than that is probably rebuild time. It runs good. I've had some quirks. Putting the sensors on have helped it tremendously. When I did the idle air control valve, there's a little relearn you're supposed to do, which I did not know about when I threw it in there. and it ran fine. Initially, it was warmer outside, but it got cold. I'd come out here, it'd be about 40 degrees, and the thing did not want to. It'd take a few tries to get it to fire up and actually run, and then it would miss and sputter and just wasn't happy until it got warmed up. And there's a little procedure you do where you take a wire and short out 2 leads. That is where you would put like a code reader, and you cycle the key and unplug the idle air control valve and this and that. I don't go through it all, but you go through that procedure, and I did that, and I did it once cold, and it helped it, but then it started running rough warm, and the instructions I had specifically said to do it warm, and I didn't do it. So I went back and did it with it warm, and now it seems to be okay. It does, when it's cold out, like 40 degrees again when I start it, it will hit once and die. Like it'll just hit off and not start, but then I'll do it again and it starts fine. So that might be something else going on with pressure regulator, fuel injector, or whatever, I don't know. But other than that, it's running really good so far. This does have air conditioning. It was not working when I got it. I did put 1 bottle in it, and I've got the compressor where it will kick on and off now. But if you watch the gauge on it, once the compressor kicks on, the gauge will drop down and kick off, and the pressure will come up, and the compressor will kick on and go. I think I just need to add some more Freon to it, and this is gonna work. But it was late this fall, right before I really didn't need it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna watch it. I wanted to see if it had any major leaks. I've checked it a couple times. So far, it's holding what I put in there. So I said, I've put that on the back burner for right now. I think it will work. I think it will be okay. I just hadn't got to it yet. It's been low priority. I said the truck over there never had air conditioning. It was factory non-AC. So I'd have been happy if this had been factory non-AC, to be honest. But at this year point, they probably just about all had air conditioning. Probably rare not to get it in the later ones. 700 R4 automatic. So far, knock on wood, it's good. It's very dry under there. I don't know if the transmission's ever been out, redone, replaced. Who knows? But one interesting thing about this is when I was looking, this was the 3rd one that I looked at before I decided to jump on one. I ran a Carfax on this, just at a whim, you know. This is older than Carfax existed. But lo and behold, there was a really good record on this. It came from North Carolina, and they had emissions vehicle inspections done yearly. So the mileage was logged all the way up till, I think, around 2007. It had its yearly thing, so I could see when the odometer tripped. And then it looked like it sat from about 07 to 18, and then it changed hands. So it went from 87 to about 2018 with the original owner, is what that's just what it looked like. And then the mileage had only went up like 4,000 miles or something from that time period. And I'm assuming that's when restoration may have started on this, sometime between 18 and when I got it. Don't know exactly. But the mileage never seemed to trip again. It crept up, everywhere it was logged, but I felt pretty accurate that it is almost 150,000 mile vehicle. So that was good. And also the fact it hadn't been up north. As far as rust goes on this thing, I have not found hardly any rust repair. Not saying that there is, but the typical places you would see it, you know, down in here and in these areas, there's no patches. There's no, you know, if you look in there, it's like it's original. Now, I can't tell you, could the door's been replaced, could hood, I don't know. But it had, like I said, a good record that stayed in the South all of its life. And like I said, I've been under it a good bit, and I won't say it is as good as that truck. I still believe that truck it just hit 50,000 miles on the odometer, and I'm still think that's correct on that truck. But hard to say. It's just crazy how this truck, when you go under it, how little rust, like on nuts and bolts and frame and stuff, even though there is some, compared to this, which this isn't bad, but you can tell this has a little bit more rust to the frame and the threads on bolts and stuff like that, even though it's not bad. But anyway, so there's your update pretty much on these two of these videos that'll be coming up. Like I said, usually one of these two is what we'll take. So I'll try to keep some GoPro image and stuff. We actually ran a GoPro inside this one yesterday in the window. So anyway, you'll see some of that video coming up. But anyway, just want to give y'all a little bit of an update on these and what we got here. Just kind of got into these square bodies and like them. So hopefully this truck will keep running good. Like I said, that worried me with some of the things with the motor, even though I wasn't the one that went through it all completely. But I think the rotating assembly on this one was actually done by somebody professional, and then I think the rest of it was maybe done by somebody else. Not saying they didn't know what they was doing, but I think they just may have threw some cheap parts at it, but who knows. All right, I'm gonna shut up. This video's drug out kind of long now, but there's your update. Look to see these a little bit more in the future, and I'm about to start pulling the back wheels off this thing because I've got a squeaky brake and I want to see what's going on. So I'm gonna get to that. Thanks for watching. See ya.